Good morning, everybody. This is Tim Ealer. Today's Sunday, the last day of November 2025, which signals the end of officially hurricane season. And in the future, I'll be talking about the hurricane season and summarizing it. But today, I'm going to focus on the winter weather here in the Midwest and what's to come, the future impacts, which are seen to be quite a lot that'll be coming in the future. A lot of different systems moving through the flow, impactful events on travel, especially today. Everybody's heading back home from the Thanksgiving holiday. If you live in the Northeast and Upper Midwest, it's going to be a problem today. Deep South, featuring just heavy rainfall this morning, but we'll focus on the Northeast and Midwest. And I have the temperatures overlaid here because I wanted to see the ground truth here based on, the radar depicting snow versus freezing rain, etc. And it's really hard to make out sometimes, especially in the mountains, because there's not a lot of observations available. But overall, not very cold here in the Northeast, near freezing for the most part, in the upper Midwest, with the heaviest snow in the UP of Michigan, um, London. I can't read that, but Buffalo, near Buffalo. Let's look at this. It looks like it's above freezing right now. Um, it's in Ontario, actually. Well, it's right on the border there. Just overcast. Um, you see the warm front here, uh, streaming warmer temps overrunning colder air. And up to the north here, you have snow as you get further north because it's colder. And further to the east, you have some light snow here up in the northeast as well. Up colder up in Maine, and on the backside of the system towards Milwaukee, Kenosha, Waukegan. Pretty intense. Looks like a missile vortex moving through the flow here over the lakes. Some kind of boundary here pushing to the south with it, with heavy snowfall as it pushes through. Let's look at this camera here real quick. Looks like there's some snow ongoing. It's hard to tell how heavy though. But this is one of the weather-eye cameras here. If we shift further to the west here, some light snow and some really cold temperatures out west here. You see the colder temps up in Canada in the negative single digits to negative teens, negative 23. Jordan, Montana. Holy cow, that's brutal. If you live up there, I'm sure you're used to it, but still, that's cold. I don't care what you say. And out west here, we have a system right over the Rockies here, um, bringing some icing to the Great Salt Lake Desert, Salt Lake City, some snow. Just in general, light to moderate snow. Really hard to make out here with the radar because of the different terrain features. And Denver, it's interesting. You have this wind shift boundary, this trough here, and right to the north of the trough, you're in the teens right now. To the south, 20s mostly, right? But cold, cold, cold here, guys. It's brutal. So in the south, we have the heavy rainfall going on right now, and looks like a trough. And generally, the southwest to northeast flow with this. And we'll go over the excessive rainfall outlook as well, and where this is going to set up and bring some beneficial rain to the southeast. and maybe some freezing rain up here in the North Georgia mountains. But if we look at this observation, it's above freezing right now in the North Georgia mountains as well. And looks like it's warmed up a little bit the past couple hours. So, yeah, it was falling, pressure was falling for a while, now it's rising some. So, outdoor temperature has risen. So, not likely to see any more freezing precip in the northeast. Maybe high in the mountains here, we might get something. Not any observations available here. So in Florida, of course, warm in the south, but otherwise, not much going on. You can see where the warmest temps are is south here, where you could possibly have some thunderstorms ongoing here. If we switch to the regular reflectivity and we go to single site radar, let's take a look real quick. If it'll bring it up, there we go. Yeah, so pretty heavy storms ongoing here. And let's pull up the camera from there. They don't have a camera, just a measurement of the wind. So just heavy rainfall in general. Thunderstorms expected, but you get up here in the more stable air, you're just going to have stratiform precip. But see how far this warm front pushes to the north. Will really dictate where, just to the south of the warm front or along it, you could have some storms, but nothing severe expected. So I decided to use this website. I got the idea from Mitch West, a friend of mine, fellow forecaster, to use this synoptic weather site. It's in beta mode, but it depicts things really well for you guys to see here. And graphically, it's pretty appealing and helps just portray stuff that people can understand. So, first of all, this is the predicted snowfall totals based on the high resolution rapid refresh model HRRR, right? And the deeper, darker colors here indicate the most amounts, right? So you get into the purples here, 4, 5, 6 inches of snow in the next 18 hours. No total, 10-to-1 ratio. So that's kind of an average ratio we use, right? So we stop this at 18 hours. So you can hover over this and see different totals, right? Click on it, not hover over it. The most totals expected here up in Canada, right? Downwind of Lake Michigan. This is Lake Superior, the lake effect favorite areas. All right, so more of a northwest flow event, right? And some snow expected in the northeast and the Intermountain West, and we showed that on the radar, what's going on right now. So as far as icing potential goes, this moves a little bit faster, so I'm going to slow this down and stop this. In the short term, you have some icing expected here in the Appalachians, maybe some light ice accumulation here, right? In the Appalachians and maybe into eastern Pennsylvania by 12 p.m. today, and moves further to the northeast here, but not a lot really. And you get further out, moves up into the northeast a little more, and maybe you have some icing here, just dotting the area here. um, into Colorado, but not a lot going on, right? So, yeah, icing isn't going to be a big impact event in the short term, but the longer term, we'll talk about that a little bit later. But longer term, we could have some pretty significant icing here in the Appalachians the first part of the week. For my friends in Georgia, I wanted to show you all these graphics. We're going to get and the possibility of late freezing rain between 1 a.m. and 9 a.m. Sunday. So yeah, I think this is already passed, even though this graphic is here. Minor travel impacts this morning. So not a huge event, but I want to show you also the rainfall. Widespread rainfall is on the way, right? So Sunday morning through Tuesday evening, widespread precip amounts of 1 to 2 inches are likely, with some areas in the north Georgia potentially receiving 3 inches. So this is definitely much needed for the South here. We've been in a drought condition. This will help um, mitigate some of that. So the likelihood of 1 to 2 to 3 inches is listed here. You can look at this. Most areas expected to get at least 1 inch of rain within the Georgia area, the state of Georgia, and far to the southeast, maybe not, but most of the state's going to get at least 1 inch of rain. So that's good. And here's the forecast for the next 6 days for the for most of Georgia from the National Weather Service Atlanta office. Mostly sunny today, rainy on, well, this is as of yesterday. Sorry, let me see if I can I don't know. Sorry, this graphic's a little old. Anyway, supposed to be rainy today. Yeah, I'm sorry this isn't updated, but this is the graphic that I have. Isolated showers on Monday, 60 to 70 degrees in central Georgia, much cooler in North Georgia. Isolated showers on Monday, cooling off in central Georgia some. Rainy again on Tuesday, which is good news, and then sunny, and then isolated showers on Thursday. As far as the Milwaukee, Wisconsin area, snowfall diminishing, snowfall rates diminishing as these bands move to the south. So this is updated at 5 a.m. Central. So higher snow rates shifting into southwest Wisconsin this morning. And lingering travel impacts this morning with the wind gusts decreasing over time. You can see how high they are right now, 20, 30 miles an hour, and decreasing some, but into Milwaukee area, staying higher. But even then, it's going to, winds are going to diminish some. Gusty northwest winds, loose snow around, particularly to the east. And peak window of blowing snow is between 4 a.m. and 4 p.m. And these are the areas impacted by blowing snow at risk. And just plan extra time here. And so to travel back home today. So from the Grand Rapids, Michigan area, travel conditions are hazardous pretty much anywhere in this area. And I forgot my pen. I haven't got my pen going this morning, so I apologize for that. I haven't needed it, I guess. But travel hazardous area wide. Widespread morning snow lake effect later today. 1 to 5 inches near lakeshore, and northwest winds at 15 to 25 miles per hour. Just have to be mindful when you're driving today, okay? And this is for the this is the snowfall totals expected for this event, right, from Grand Rapids, Michigan, National Weather Service office, Saturday through Sunday. Saturday is always already passed, but you see Sunday the snowfall amounts and the totals expected here. The most totals are in Kalamazoo, which has already occurred for the most part, and for most of these areas, snowfall diminished today, so that's good for people traveling home. So, the confidence is getting higher for minor impacts for an upcoming event here for freezing rain, wintry mix with freezing rain, the primary threat in the Appalachians, um, Tuesday through Wednesday in the Appalachians here. It's really hard to see this graphic, but you can see what I'm talking about. Most locations within the mountains and northern portions of the Piedmont, Monday night through Tuesday. So, um, we'll just have to see how this plays out, but it's looking more likely we're going to have some icing going on here Monday night and Tuesday as the storm rides up the East Coast during that time. As far as Texas goes, we got a freeze warning in the Midland, Odessa area this morning, and we have this potential for gap winds, and that's where this high wind warning was, right? And ongoing. And I wondered what this was when I saw it on the map, but sustained winds of 35 to 45 miles per hour, gusts up to 65. Guadalupe Pass, Carlsbad Caverns, and Delaware Mountains. Pretty impactful event, although many people probably aren't talking about it. So, yeah. So, I showed you the cold temperatures up in Montana, right? And let me zoom this in a little bit, see if I can. Yeah. So, issued today, cold morning temperature, especially along the high line. I'm not sure what that is, but I have to find out. Coldest temperature Sunday and Monday morning. Wind chills as low as negative 35. Frostbite and hypothermia in little as 10 minutes. So you need to not go outside today if you can help it, or tomorrow. It's brutal. If you have to, I think you know how to dress when it comes. If you have to work out on this, then I think you know how to dress, but I wouldn't go out if I could help it, So, and is there another system on the way for the area? It's possible to have light accumulating snowfall in this area during the upcoming week. Wednesday, December 3rd. And here's the probabilities of having 2 inches of snow Tuesday and Wednesday in the area. So not a lot of confidence in heavy snow, but overall, there's some confidence you may get some snowfall in the coming days. The biggest threat in the short term is cold weather. I'll tell you, that's brutal. And finally, here's the latest on the winter storm, early December winter storm threat, the icing threat, probability of at least 0.1 inches of ice, which is quite significant here in the Appalachians, and the winter precipitation accumulation probability of the snow, at least 6 inches of snow. You see in the favorite area is right off the coastline here, potentially up to 6 inches of snow. Probability is 50, 70, 90%. And chance of least moderate impacts. You see where the highest impacts could be. Mostly into Vermont, Maine, but overall, a lot of impacts in general for the northeast and mid-Atlantic. Although right along the coast, not likely to have much of anything except for rain, and maybe at the onset might get some snow, freezing rain. Snow accumulations threat inland is more likely than it has been. I mean, the confidence is increasing. So we'll just have to, and we'll go over the forecast here next. But so the track and timing is still uncertain. So forecast changes are anticipated, and this is coming from the experts, guys, not me. So, take it to heart, but also prepare for potential travel impacts. 7 a.m. Monday through 7 a.m. Wednesday. So as far as snowfall goes with this next system next week, low pressure is going to ride up the coast here and generally into this area, right? Initially going to give us some rainfall down here. And there's a sharp cutoff in the rain snow line. And this is the totally expected. This is a GFS model, okay? The GFS, which is the ensemble, right? And you see a sharp cutoff here. It is pretty bullish on some totals here into interior New York. But you see where the sharp cutoff is here. We can zoom in a little bit. Right? And if we go back out to the European, this is the 0Z European, pretty much showing the same thing. Snow totals a little bit higher further to the north here. This is a 24-hour snow totals ending December 3rd at 1 a.m. So we move through time here. We can see where the snow totals move. And if you look at the GFS, it's a little bit further north. And when we're comparing these models, we can look at the mean pressure in members, right? And this gives us a good idea where this model thinks this low pressure is going to be, right? So the majority of the members have this low pressure offshore. You can see it, right? There's 31 members in here total. So there's still possibility it could be further to the west, which would bring rainfall further inland, or it could be further to the north, or further to the south, or further to the east. But in general, the average is right offshore. I think it's close to the benchmark. The benchmark is where they place a system for rapid deepening, right? So, not rapid deepening, where it could potentially provide, if everything is perfect, it could give you a really hefty snowfall event from the northeast. And this one is pretty progressive, so it's not likely to produce heavy snowfall, okay? If we go back out to the European, see, it's a little further to the southeast, which would potentially bring a little bit colder air and less warm air here, right? You can see leading up to this, high pressure is retreating here. The system is pretty progressive, right, and moves to the northeast and then intensifies. And if we bring out, we just go to the European AI and we look at 6Z and simulated radar. Zoom this out. You can see it wants to place this system, right? The European AI wants to place it right here, pretty far to the east, which would be mostly snow here into New York, right? And northern New Jersey, right? But let's move it over to the the European. I don't think the Euro AI depicts icing, right? So you can see where the European is with this. It's further offshore than the GFS, right? So if we switch to the GFS, see how much closer to the coast it is. Go to 6Z. Yeah, it's pretty close to the coast here. Icing. Energy transfers offshore. Yeah, and it's very progressive, guys, so don't expect heavy snowfall with this event. So as far as excessive rainfall goes, I wanted to show you this map here from the Synoptic weather site. This depicts the rainfall totals through Sunday, December 7th at 1 a.m. Let's go move it out to 7 a.m., which is closer to what time it is now. You could see potentially up to 6 inches of rainfall between now and Sunday, next Sunday. You can see where the areas expand, right? We got it now. And then into central Georgia, middle Georgia, potentially 2-3 inches of rain in North Georgia, Atlanta area, but a bullseye down here into Louisiana, Mississippi area, parts of southern Alabama, with higher totals out west on the northwest as well. So we have a really could have a serious situation here, and we'll go over the excessive rainfall outlook, severe weather outlook, and the longer range the sorry guys, and the threats for 8 to 14 next. So this is the real basic severe weather outlook, categorical, because there's not a lot going on for severe weather. General thunderstorms in the highlighted areas here in green for today, right? For tomorrow, chance of thunderstorms along the Gulf Coast here. And for tomorrow, Monday, right along the East Coast, the Southeast Coast, into the Mid-Atlantic, and day 4 through 8. So as far as current hazards, we got these winter weather advisories up here, and winter weather advisories here in the Midwest plains, which winter storm warnings here along in the Great Lakes area and the upper Midwest. Winter weather advisory in the Appalachians and to the parts of the Mid-Atlantic and into parts of New York, which some high wind warnings here as well. And the high wind warnings, we talked about these, and the freeze warning here in the Southwest Texas. Winter weather advisories here in the Intermountain West, and the high wind warning here in the Rockies into Montana or Wyoming, excuse me, and freeze watch here in California. As far as excessive rainfall goes, nothing highlighted for today. Tomorrow we have this broad area here along the Gulf Coast into the southeast. No excessive rainfall expected Monday or Tuesday. And then we get into the longer term. You see, we talked about the rainfall potential here on the Gulf Coast. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see this increase in the coming days if as it becomes more certain whether the highest totals are going to be. As far as the risk of heavy precip, we see where the slight risk is here, the 7th and the 8th of December. Snow chances are greatest of heavy snow here, the 7th through the 10th. in the dotted purple areas, as well as up here in the favored Great Lakes areas, the 7th through the 9th of December. No hazardous winds expected during the period. Slight risk of hazardous temperatures here up north in the northeast and in the upper Midwest. And here's the latest 6 to 10 day temperature outlook, highlighting where the coldest temps are expected, near normal temps and above normal here. And where the heaviest precip is expected, above normal precip expected in the southeast, which would be good news for us. And in the northern tier of the U.S., near normal in the central and below normal out west. 8 to 14 day temperatures still remains below average for the northeast and mid-Atlantic. That the cold temps will just keep. We'll get rounds of cold fronts moving through with different storms and things, bringing cold air to the northeast and mid-Atlantic, and near normal temps for the deep south. So it won't be overly cold for deep south, but it'll be chilly. So above normal temps out west. Precip is forecast to remain above normal along the eastern seaboard, all the way into the Mississippi Valley, Ohio Valley, and northern to the U.S. Near normal for the central U.S. and out west, below normal. And here's your week 3 to 4 temperature outlook issued 2 days ago. You can see where the boundary is, where the coldest temps are expected to remain up to the north here, above normal to the south here in the dark orange areas. And week 3 to 4 precip, above normal precip expected in the northeast, where that boundary setting up, and into the northwest here, and below normal precip into Texas, deep south, and Florida is still below normal, right? And into southern Georgia as well, the southeast. This could change over time, but this is what's on the books right now for this. So that's all I got for today, guys. Kind of lengthy discussion, but important nonetheless. And hope you all stay safe and had a good holiday season. And God bless.